It's not hard to imagine worries about COVID-19 keeping people up at night, but around the world, people have been reporting that the pandemic is affecting their dreams as well. NewsHour Weekend's Maury Rothman has our report.
Deirdre Barrett has been having strange dreams lately.
I was in a very beautiful antique library, like the library of a home. And I knew that outside there was just some horrible thing happening. And it kind of transformed from being a war to being a riot to being something like the Black Plague.
Barrett created this eerie depiction of her dream. But she's more than an artist. Barrett is an expert on dreaming. She's studied the science of dreams for 4 decades and written a book on the subject. Now she's collecting accounts of COVID-19 related dreams to learn about how people's dreams are being influenced by the pandemic. What kind of dreams are you seeing people report?
In the survey I'm doing, there's some big clusters of types of dreams. People are dreaming that they're getting short of breath, they're spiking a fever, or more fantastically, one woman looks down at her stomach and sees blue stripes on it, and in the dream remembers that that's the first sign of coronavirus and knows she has it. There's a big cluster of metaphoric ones about the virus, but representing it as something else. The biggest subpart of that are bugs. Every kind of bug, cockroaches rushing toward the person, swarms of flying insects, masses of squirming worms. I think we see so many bugs because it's a common phrase. I have a bug means I have a virus, but also because the virus is so invisible, lots of small things that cumulatively can kill you, like bugs, makes a good metaphor.
Barrett says in the thousands of dream reports she's received, the pattern is shifting from initial fears of the virus to aspects of being in lockdown. And she's not the only one collecting dreams. On a website called I Dream of COVID, gathering dreams from around the world, some wrote of bizarre things, including never-ending video conferences, items in a grocery store coughing and sneezing, and relationship troubles brought on by uncut hair. Barrett says most dream activity tends to occur towards the end of slumber, during a period that is often interrupted by the alarm to wake up. But because many people are home all day, some are sleeping longer. So it makes sense that more people are remembering dreams when they awaken. You've looked at dreams of people who have gone through past major events, 9/11, for example, where there was more stark imagery. Kind of how does this compare?
The way the 9/11 sample and this one are very similar is that in both, the ordinary person who's watching this on television and is certainly stressed and worried about it, but not really experiencing what psychologists usually mean by a trauma, they're mostly having anxiety dreams.
But what about the extraordinary person, the one dealing with the crisis on the front lines?
In both of the samples, 9/11 and the pandemic, the first responders are the ones who have just horrible post-traumatic nightmares, much more literally about the events.
And at what point do these dreams kind of help us process what's going on, and at what point are they not as helpful?
I think a lot of the questions that we ask about dreams, we should kind of think of the equivalent in waking thought. Like if you try to think about, are most of your waking thoughts helping you process what's going on? Well, some of them are definitely good ideas and breakthroughs about what to do and getting you somewhere. But an awful lot of waking thought is just repetitive circles. And I've thought this over and over yesterday, and I'm doing it again today. And I think our dreams are like that also.
And if the dreams get to be overwhelming, Barrett says there are steps you can take to try to at least make them a little less upsetting.
If people just want to stop having bad anxiety dreams, the best method is to think of what you would like to dream about. Maybe a favorite loved one, maybe a favorite vacation spot. Lots of people love flying dreams. And so as you're falling asleep, to form an image of that in your mind, and it makes it less likely you'll have the anxiety dreams and more likely you'll have the content you're targeting.
We asked you to tell us about some of your COVID dreams. Here are some of your responses. Janina Schiavone from Michigan wrote, "Everyone I missed so much was there. My wonderful friends, my teammates from work, my family, and remarkably, all those I've loved in the past who are no longer with me on this earth. I know I didn't want the dream to end, and when it did, I was smiling. Then I cried. Then I smiled again. Ryan Brennan from St. Louis, Missouri recalled his dream. I'm a high school teacher. At work, we had a fire drill, and Oprah yelled at me because I took too long to take attendance of my class after evacuating the building. And this from Kate Buick in Seattle. I was in church, sitting up front, appropriately physically distanced from others. However, when I turned around, I saw a large group of people packed in closely together at the back. I thought to myself, I shouldn't be here, and left right away. When I came fully awake, I was so relieved that it wasn't real.